We're building Padre for Alicia, for Nick, for Frank, and Klaus.
I won't say it twice. Any sudden moves, I put one right between your eyes. Ditto for Buddy Boy.
I've been looking for this friggin' dinosaur all day. I've got to find a better place for you.
Stupid little shit. Do you know what you've done?
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one is going to be doing our annual video that we always like to do at the end of every year. This one, we're going to look back on all the entertainment and all the stuff that released and do our year in review for 2023. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing another video for today. This one's going to be doing another video for today. This one is going to be doing our year in review for 2023. We're going to go through all of the entertainment, be it TV shows, movies, even a little bit of gaming as well too. We're going to talk about everything this year that I've either seen or covered or, you know, both on the channel. So, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of entertainment that went through 2023, what we thought of the year overall, how the year went for me as well, and then obviously a lot of you guys as well too. These videos typically are pretty lengthy as well too, so make sure to, you know, sit in and, you know, get comfortable because you're probably going to be here a while. If you're actually going to watch this whole video, you're definitely going to be here a hot minute. I got me a cup of water because I'm going to be talking a shit ton, so I needed it for sure. But let's get into this. So 2023, how did this year go for entertainment? Well, I thought it was pretty good. You know, I mean, it wasn't, you know, like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. You know, I mean, it definitely wasn't great. But it was solid, I'd say, this year. I thought we got some really good entertainment. We had a lot of video game adaptations. We had a lot of really big movies. We had a lot of really big TV shows this year. So we did have a lot going on. It was definitely a very eventful year for that, right? And before we get into this, I will also make sure to remind you, anybody that's watching this video that may be worried about spoilers for these shows, don't worry. None of these shows, none of these things that I am going to acknowledge in this video will have plot spoilers. So you can watch this video without getting spoiled on any of these shows. That is going to be something that I can promise you in this video. But with that being out of the way, and now, you know, of course, a lot of shows, a lot of entertainment ahead of us. Let's get into this. Starting off, speaking of video game adaptations, we're going to get started with The Last of Us Season 1 on HBO. Now, this, in my opinion, was a okay adaptation and a somewhat good TV show. It was pretty solid, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything, in my opinion, amazing. It definitely wasn't. I think it definitely has one of the best episodes of 2023, though, which is the pilot. The pilot was absolutely fantastic. It had a lot of really good things to it. And I think overall, this show, while it had episodes that I think were better than others, I think it does do a good job mostly on, you know, the visual landscape and the overall, you know, direction of the story. That stuff I don't think got interrupted. I think it lacked in a few things, which we've discussed in other videos, but it was a pretty good adaptation. Better than a lot of other video game adaptations that I've seen. So it was pretty good. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. Now, we also, continuing with movie and video games, you know, adaptations, we now have the Mario movie. So I thought this one was pretty good as well, too. I thought this, at least in my opinion, was the best video game adaptation this year. Getting to see that Mario movie in full, you know, theaters and all this stuff, voiced by Chris Pratt, which I loved. Bowser, voiced by, of course, Jack Black, and a lot of really great castings in this one. I thought it was a really fun movie. And in my opinion, you guys might even call me kind of crazy for this one. It was my personal favorite movie of the year. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. They adapted a lot of really, really nostalgic things from the old video games that I thought was really amazing, and I thought overall they did a really good job. So that was awesome. Gotta take another sip of water. I'm going to be here a while. Okay, next up is from the showrunner community. This one is Survival of the Fittest 6B. So this one is made by my good friend Megamat. He is a really good friend of mine, really good buddy of mine. If you're watching this, man, you are awesome. But he is the showrunner for this show, Survival of the Fittest Season 6. So the first half aired later in 2022, but the second half aired, of course, early 2023. This show, in my opinion, is one of the most nostalgic for the channel. It really is. I mean, we've reviewed this since, 2020. Getting to see the second half of Season 6, I unfortunately did not get around to doing reviews like I was planning to do for this half season. I still plan to do a overall review for this season before Season 7 comes out, so that'll be something I get done. But in terms of this second half, I thought it was awesome. I really did. I mean, it really took one of the best storylines of the show, if you ask me, with the dragons, and just upped it to an all-time high. I thought it was really, really good. I think the setting was really good. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The setting of the season was very original, very, very different. The tone was really, really good. And in my opinion, besides the third season, I think it's the show at its best. I really do. So I think that half season absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I thought it was really exciting, really good fight scenes, a lot of really great stuff. And, well, like I said, it's a really good season. It really is. It's a really, really good second half of the season. Now, we also have The Mandalorian Season 3. Now, I think this is one of the most overhated seasons of anything this year. I really do. I thought this was a fantastic season. It definitely was not as good as Season 2. I agree with that. But it, in my opinion, is better than Season 1. I don't understand any of the criticisms that season gets. I might have had one or two nitpicks throughout the whole thing, but, it was generally really, really good. It was a really good season with a lot of really great things. It was, very well executed, and I think overall it nailed it. I really do. It wasn't Season 2, but it's a close second, for sure. It was really, really enjoyable. Now, next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was another big movie this year. I love this movie. I mean, I love this movie. I thought it was so damn good. This movie really takes you back to just how great the OG Marvel days really was. And this movie did everything you'd want. It actually went to some pretty dark places and some pretty emotional places at a lot of times, which I thought was really good. And I am a very critical person when it comes to Marvel. I think Marvel suffers a lot more than people acknowledge it does. But I will say this movie was really, really good. And it really was a exciting movie to watch around, the springtime, of this year. Now, we then get into Fear the Walking Dead 8A. Now, this was the first half of Fear the Walking Dead, the final season. Now, what did we think of this? Well, I'm going to be honest, it was pretty trash. It was pretty bad. This is the first thing this year I can say was like, okay, that was not good. Fear 8A, look, man, I love Morgan, so obviously this does have a special place in my heart, seeing how this was his final batch of episodes in the show. But at the same time, there were a lot of problems. Padre was not an exciting storyline. There were a lot of really bad, elements to this season, and there was a lot of just bad writing in general. There were certain elements I liked, but a lot of it I didn't. I didn't enjoy the kind of hold that Padre had over us. I did enjoy going back to King County, although that episode still has a lot of problems. I think there's a lot of characters that kind of just, act out of character a little bit, which is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, that's all I'll say without going into any major spoilers. But it's a pretty flawed half season, let's put it that way. Now, next up, we have The Walking Dead Dead City Season 1. Now, this season, if you ask me, was when I truly realized, okay, Walking Dead can survive without the main show. It was pretty impressive. We saw so many amazing things. Obviously, the setting of New York was absolutely phenomenal in this show. We saw a lot of really great moments for Maggie and Negan, in particular Negan. I mean, they really did some things in this season that really brought you back to some of the OG stuff from The Walking Dead. I'll put it that way. But it was a really great show. It honestly is one of my personal favorites this year. I really liked the tone of it. I really liked the feel of it. It really felt original. It felt different. And I think for that, it really worked in its benefit. And overall, the budget felt higher. Overall, it was really enjoyable. I really liked it. Now, we got another community show. This one's pretty special. This one is Wasteland World, Season 4. Now, I actually act in this show. I do some voice acting for this show. And this one is a pretty big one. This one's Season 4, which is, of course, the final season for, of course, Road Wolf, which we've made that very public. And it was a very big season. It was a really big season. We went all out on it. This one, again, is one that I worked on, so I'm not going to talk about, any kind of like critiques or anything like that, because some of it's literally some of my own work, some of my own acting, but I will say that it was a really fantastic group effort this year. It really was. It was filmed for 2 years, and we finally released it this year, and I thought it came out absolutely incredible. It was edited by, of course, Megamat, so credit goes out to him. Acted by myself as well as a whole bunch of other people, and it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. It was a crazy season. There was a lot of things that went down with it, and it really felt like a huge step for the show in a crazy direction. It really did. It was insane. So that was definitely one of my favorite projects that released this year. That was definitely really exciting. Now after that we have Ahsoka, the Star Wars miniseries, I guess, for now. People say it's miniseries, we'll have to see. But this one I thought was really good. I thought this was a really good series. Season 1 was fantastic. I do actually say, and I could argue that it might be better than Mando Season 3 this year. It might be. I've only seen it the one time, so maybe I got to correct myself. Maybe I'll feel differently when I, rewatch and all that. But I thought it was pretty damn good. I thought it was really exciting. So yeah, Ahsoka Season 1, really fantastic. I think Star Wars in general did a really good job this year. So credit goes out to them for sure. Water break. I'm leaving all this in too, so you guys can see how I really do this shit. Okay, now next up is going to be The Road Rats Season 3A. Now this is another community project, as with Survival and Wasteland World, and now Road Rats. Now this one for sure, it's insane. It's an insane half season. It's a really insane one, and there's a lot of really big things going on with this one. Obviously, we got the Cypher storyline, we got the Dragons storyline carrying on from the other show, of course, so this one was kind of treated special. Now, in my opinion, I think this half season started off with a bang. I think it had some great episodes, especially the third episode I thought was amazing. I think overall, the first chunk of this, first half was really great. A lot of really good storylines, a lot of really good plots, a lot of, really exciting storylines. I think where the weaknesses come in, if you ask me, is the mid-season finale. I think there's a lot of really just kind of either missed opportunities or just bad writing decisions or just bad execution, simply. But I think in terms of this half season, in terms of what it was going for, up until the mid-season finale, I'd say it's damn near perfect. It really is. There's a lot of really good storylines. It's a little bit of an out there season. It doesn't feel apocalyptic, which in a way is stuff that I don't like, because I feel like it kind of suffers a little bit from what the show is supposed to be. But at the same time, it's a really exciting half season, and I think a lot of it is done in a really cool way. It's a little out there too much to where it feels a little disjointed at times with reality and what it kind of should be, but I do like the originality, and I do like what the story was doing, and I think a lot of it was well done. I thought it was still a really solid half season. Now, next up we have The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. Now, in my opinion, and some people may disagree, this was my favorite show this year. This show, holy shit, it was fucking good. I mean, it was so dang good. It took a concept that I was admittedly very skeptical about and just upped it to a crazy extent. I mean, Daryl Dixon washing up in France. How dumb does that sound? And they play on that so much on this show. It's so cool. And the setting, the visuals, the character development for Daryl, Isabel as a character. I mean, there's so many things that I could say about this season, but I will say, in the history of Walking Dead shows, and in terms of just a spinoff in general, it's the best one, if you ask me. At least until I see The Ones Who Live, it is absolutely the best one. It is so damn good. It's really awesome. Now, next up we have Gen V, Season 1. In my opinion, this is one of the worst things that came out this year. Besides another thing we're about to mention, this was a horrible season, if you ask me. Sure, did they have a good, send-off with the last episode? Sure, it was pretty good. But for the most part, I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the storytelling. I didn't like anything about it. I thought it was quirky, weird, off-centered in a bad way. it just was not good. And the fact that people say that this is one of the best shows of 2023, I completely disagree. I think the tone was off, the vibe was off, everything was off, in my opinion. It was not an enjoyable season at all, at least in my opinion. Now, next up, we have Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie. Now, I think this was incredibly underrated this year for Halloween movies and Halloween events. This was creepy. It was really intense. There was a lot of really, really great things from the game adapted into this, and it felt very accurate at that. People would probably have my head for this, but I think it's better than the Last of Us adaptation this year. I think they really adapted the game very, very well. And I thought it was really, really well done. I see a lot of people that hated on it, and I'm not really sure why. It was very enjoyable, and it was a very, very fun watch experience, at least for me. You know, and I thought it was really good. Very, very underrated project this year, I would say. And you can't make it out of 2023 without a little bit of bullshit, so let's throw this one in here next. 8B of Fear the Walking Dead. Oh boy. So, oh man, yeah, no, this was bad. This was bad. They tried some things in this final half of Fear the Walking Dead that I don't think worked in the show's benefit. They may have resurrected some characters that I'm not going to mention, but it was not good. It was not good. The writing was bad. The overall story was bad. And it's sad because the Walking Dead universe is my favorite thing to review on the channel, and it kind of ended the franchise this year in a shit way, which kind of sucks a little bit. I'm grateful that there's other projects coming early next year for Walking Dead that are great, because this was bad. Like, this was bad. And honestly, minus the last, 20 minutes of this final half, they do pull something that I think is pretty cool. I think this whole thing's a write-off. I really do. Especially where the story goes in the end. Oh my god. Honestly, I might even have to correct myself. This might be the worst thing this year, the 8B. That was really bad, honestly. Gen V was bad, but Fear was terrible this year. Honestly, they should get an award for being the worst show for 2023. Those things should exist. They really should. Okay, now next up we got the Clementine Book 2. Now, I did do a video on this one, although I didn't even actually get through the entire book. That's how bad the whole thing was. I looked up some of it and skipped the rest, so I'm not going to be able to really criticize anything about this, but it was so bad that I couldn't read it, the whole thing. So, it was bad. That's another Walking Dead product this year that I think was absolutely terrible. And unfortunately, the ball keeps rolling. Another bad Walking Dead product this year right after that, The Walking Dead Destinies. I mean, what the actual fuck? Seriously, what the actual fuck was that? If you've seen the game, you know how bad it is. It's so terrible. And if you've played it, which I have not had the balls to play it yet because I've seen gameplay and it looks bad enough, then I really feel bad for you, because holy shit, this was bad. It was barely 3-4 hours. It was really, really rushed. It takes a concept that I think is honestly not that bad, and it literally screws it up. The cutscenes are ugly as all get out. None of the characters sound like the characters from the show. You can tell they don't even try. It's so bad. It's such a bad game. I honestly can't even get over how terrible it really was. It was bad. Now, this one I do count as a event because it was an event for a lot of gamers, so I think this one definitely is a major one. We've waited for this one for 10 years. Definitely is something worth mentioning for this year recap for entertainment, and that is the GTA 6 first ever trailer. That was big. That was a big deal. And that was a really good trailer, too. That damn song is still stuck in my head. It's a long road. Who doesn't sing that every day in their heads? Come on now, man. But I'm telling you right now, it is such a damn good trailer. The game looks so friggin' good. And I know it's just a trailer, so we'll keep it moving, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool trailer, and it's awesome to see this game finally, become a thing and finally exist and, be out there as promotion for 2025, obviously. Definitely really, really good stuff there. Now, we also had Invincible Season 2. Again, getting around to a show that I never covered. That's why I like doing these videos. At least for Season 2. We did talk about Season 1. We didn't get around to Season 2. Maybe in the future I will do some videos on it. But it's over now, so it's I don't know how I'm going to really do that. But anyway, point being, Season 2 of Invincible was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. I loved it all. I thought it was amazing. I thought the overall storylines were great. I actually think it's an improvement from season 1, which I know might be a bit of a hot take, but I thought this was honestly another one of the better shows this year. Another one of the better seasons. It came in the latter half of the year. Not much was airing, so I kind of forgot about it, but it was really good. Like, when I finally got around to watching all the episodes, it was a really good show. I really enjoyed a lot of it. And then finally, this year kind of ended with a bit of a comedy show, so we'll throw this one here as the last but not least. We had, of course, Rick and Morty. Season 7, which this was a challenging one because the original actor that voices Rick and Morty was not in this at all. And somehow they got it to sound absolutely identical. It was amazing. And the season overall is probably my favorite season of Rick and Morty. I don't know how that's possible, but they absolutely killed it this season. They really did. Again, another show that I didn't get around to reviewing. There's a few of these that I haven't reviewed, but yeah, this one was really great. I really loved Rick and Morty season 7. So I thought that one was really good as well, too. And then, obviously, my own product, World Gone Mad. Unfortunately, I think this year we can all agree, World Gone Mad fans, it was the most back burner year, unfortunately. And I have said many times, I do apologize for that. I've been so busy this year, and I've had so much other stuff going on. It's been very hard to work on this show. Not to mention, last year, as you guys know, my motivation was really low in this show when I would literally put a whole bunch of cool music in my episodes and it would block it in multiple countries. So I had some issues with the show last year. This year, I got into college. I got into, a lot of stuff. I was working a lot, so I just didn't get a chance to, get around this show like I was originally planning to. But I am still working on it during the holiday season. So the show is still going on. It's still happening. There's still a whole bunch of episodes releasing for it very soon. It's just, unfortunately, this year, the only episodes that we released was, of course, the first 3. With episode 1, 2, 3, obviously. But they were pretty big episodes. So I hope you guys enjoyed those ones as kind of a taster for what's to come. But, yeah, there you go. So, in terms of 2023, and in terms of entertainment this year, and in terms of shows this year, I thought it was pretty good, in terms of shows I didn't like, I would step Fear the Walking Dead to the plate. I would step Gen V to it. I would step, what other shows? I think those two are really the only, real bad ones, you know what I mean? There were a few, The Walking Dead, Destiny's, Clementine, yeah, there they are. I knew there was something missing. But in terms of, a lot of the rest of the entertainment this year, in terms of the positives, Daryl Dixon was amazing. Dead City was amazing. The Last of Us was, it was pretty good. Overrated, if you ask me, but pretty good. And you had a lot of really peak moments in a lot of other TV shows, Mandalorian was great this year. Ahsoka was great this year. Mario movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, FNAF movie, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Rick and Morty, Invincible Season 2. Overall, I think this year, in terms of entertainment, was pretty damn good. There was still some really good things. So, overall, what I'd say about 2023 in terms of entertainment, could have been better, but I think it's our best entertainment year since at least 2020, maybe something like that. I think there was a lot of really good TV shows this year. There really was. A lot of things stepped up. We got a GTA 6 trailer, for crying out loud. I think this year was mostly good, with a few bad shows and pieces of entertainment sprinkled in between. But for the most part, I'm coming out of this year very positive with our entertainment. I really am. So, I think that's good. I really do. I think that's really, really good. Hopefully 2024 can, take that and maybe even improve it, right? That'd be awesome. But, yeah, that was that in terms of entertainment. Now, obviously, what I always like to do at the end of the videos is talk about, how the year was overall for just the world in general, how it was for me, how it was for some of y'all. You guys can comment down below. I had a really damn good year. I really did. I had a really good year for myself personally, right? I accomplished a lot of things I wanted to accomplish this year. One of the biggest things that I can't even believe we hit this year is hitting over 100,000 subscribers on the channel. When the year started, I was at 5,000 subscribers. How? How? You guys, honestly, I don't even know how to express how I feel about that. I guess the best way to shorten it up and make sure this video doesn't drag on too much longer is thank you. I mean, oh my God, like seriously, you guys literally made every single expectation just honestly irrelevant. Like honestly, over 100,000 subscribers on the channel. That is not ever anything I expected to get into this year at all. I never expected that. So you guys really threw me off with that, and I honestly couldn't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. That was definitely one of the biggest moments of the year for me. That was absolutely insane. And obviously the year in general, I thought was good. You know, there's, you know, more, you know, fun stuff going on, you know, a lot of fun, you know, movies releasing, a lot of fun TV shows, a lot of fun games and stuff like that. And it was really good. It was really, really good. I accomplished a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish this year. I can't really say this year had any, like, horrible thing, like, throughout the year. You know what I mean? Like, it was relatively really good. I enjoyed my year. I enjoyed a lot of what, you know, went down. That's just for me, at least. Usually I'm kind of at the end of the years, and I'm kind of like, oh, this crap year can kiss my ass and stuff. I can't really say that this year. I decently enjoyed my year. I really did. You know, it wasn't perfect, but I don't really think any year's perfect. I thought it was, you know, a decent year at that. I really did. I thought it was a pretty darn solid year. So yeah, and then of course, one of the big things I wanted to acknowledge this year, one of the big things that, you know, I wanted to make sure I acknowledged before the year concluded is some of the celebrity deaths that we did also, you know, witness. Obviously, the actor for Hector Salamanca from Breaking Bad, the actor from Chandler from Friends passed away, actor from Brooklyn Nine-Nine passed away. We had a lot of really big celebrity deaths this year, and it really was unfortunate. So definitely want to take a second to acknowledge them as well too. But that is about it, guys. We are now heading into 2024. Let's see what the hell we got next year, man. It sounds good so far, so I'm excited for it. 2024, let's see it. Let's see what they got. So 2023, that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching all the content in 2023. I hope you enjoyed the channel. If this is your first year on the channel and your first year seeing one of these year recaps, we do these every year. So, of course, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Whether you joined the channel this year or you joined 7 years ago when this shit began, I thank you all for supporting. I thank you all for commenting and liking, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff. It means the world to me. So, of course, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button. Make sure, of course, to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.